Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Renzo Benzi, and in today's video we're going to talk about my initial thoughts and reaction to the grand finals of Eurovision Song Contest 2022. But before anything else, intro. I love that intro. Anyway, so we're going to talk into three parts. So the first part would be about my journey as a reactor to most Eurovision songs for this year's Eurovision Song Contest. The second part is about Italy being the host of this year's Eurovision, and the third part would be about the winner of this year's Eurovision Song Contest, which is Ukraine. So on the first part, I began doing some reaction videos to Eurovision way back in 2019, but it's just about one single video about the all 40 or 39 song entries on that particular year. So I was like, oh, I've met like a few friends along the way, but it wasn't really that, it wasn't really that consistent. But it was only this year when I finally invested all of my emotions, starting with Benidorm Fest, because I always root for Spain ever since, but they always get the lowest scores, both juries and televotes, for the past maybe like several years. So when I saw this Benidorm Fest, it's actually like the first of their kind. Like usually Spain would just internally select a song or an artist to represent their country for the upcoming Eurovision. But this year they've come to a decision that, hey, we have to have like a national selection competition, just like Melfest in Sweden. So yeah, I was rooting for Slow Mo, which is Spain, and that was the first video that I made, or the first reaction video that I made, and the reception was pretty much intense because I just realized that Spanish fans are one of the they're intense, like both good ways and bad ways, but I always lean towards the good ones, so because we don't want to invite negativity in our space, because we don't subscribe to that. But anyway, so after that I decided to create another reaction video to Italy, which is like the San Remo Fest, and it's one of the highly anticipated national song contests for the Eurovision. So Italy is one of the powerhouses of Eurovision, so I always look forward to the entries. So yeah, after that, I made other reaction videos to other countries as well, and I became emotionally invested to some of the national competitions. Usually, I only watch Melfest because it's the one of a kind. It's the top tier national selection for the Eurovision, but I come to realize that there are other national selection competition that are also as good as Melfest. Like example, PESMA of Serbia. It's all of their entries, like most of their entries, are so good. I have a hard time to find my favorites, because as much as I want to have like only one favorite, it's really hard. So yeah, those are like one of the few surprises while I venture into this kind of journey into Eurovision. So yeah, along the way my channel grew and I was able to monetize my channel, thank God, finally, after like 11 years, 10 years. So yeah, I was like, why not make reaction videos to these kind of like Eurovision, because I just wanted to create hype, as well as I wanted to hype myself as well. So along the process my channel grew and my viewership grew as well, and I met a few friends along the way, and some of them are like my subscribers from YouTube, and we still keep in touch until right now on Instagram and on Twitter as well. So you know who you are, guys. I really thank you for following this journey. I mean, it's so sad that the Eurovision has finally come to an end, so this is like the post-Eurovision blues. So yeah, anyway, so let's talk about Italy as a host. So when you host big events like this one, Eurovision Song Contest, it has to be almost perfect. I mean, we cannot avoid some gaffes or some, technical difficulties along the way, but I didn't really expect that there would be like a lot of issues, especially like the infamous kinetic sun. So all throughout the 39 entries, the kinetic sun was just static. So it should rename as static sun, but yeah, it is what it is. They just have to be resourceful. There were like a few technicalities along the way, especially during the first two no, the first and second semifinals, and as well as the grand finals, the camera movements were like a bit awkward and off at the same time, because you can sometimes see the crew running behind the contestants. So that was kind of like awkward, because that was actually my first time seeing that kind of, weird or awkward camera movements. So that's what I've noticed. And there are like, especially during the grand finals, there were like a few moments where there were like awkward camera angles, like that is unnecessary at some point. So yeah, and also the postcards are kind of like weird. It's not like super ugly, but it's really weird, because as much as I like the concept, but the execution of the postcards should have been done better. Yeah, that's my personal opinion. But regardless of all these mistakes that we've seen for the past few weeks, I still have to commend Italy for hosting such a wonderful music fest. Not just in entire Europe, but for the entire world as well, because a lot of people are watching the live stream of Eurovision, and it's kind of like hard, because as someone who lives in the Philippines, the show starts at 3 a.m. So it's kind of weird, because I have to sleep at around like 11:30, and I always set an alarm at around 2:45 to prepare myself to, and it's really difficult, because I'm this type of person or audience, member of audience that is really passionate. Like, I really wanted to scream and cheer for my bets, like example Spain, Serbia. I always say Serbia, yay! But I can't do that because everyone at home is asleep. So yeah, the dogs are also complaining as well. Oh my god, they're so noisy. But anyway, so we'd love to commend Italy for being a good host for this year's Eurovision Song Contest. I know it's hard, but I know that hospitality is deeply ingrained into Italian culture. So yeah, as much as Italy wants to bring out the best in their staging, production, and etc., I hope that this is going to be a life lesson for not just for RAI, but to also potential TV broadcasters who would love to host Eurovision, because they will learn a lot of things from this year's Eurovision Song Contest. Now, moving on to the third part, which is Ukraine worth the winner for this year's Song Contest? In my opinion, yeah. I kind of like expect this, because it's not just about bringing support to Ukraine, but this is the hardest pill to swallow. Ukraine's song is one of the top tier entries for this year's song contest, because it reminds me of Sham, which is Ukraine's last year's entry, and it's like a mix of modern and traditional genre. So it's kind of like unique. It's really good. Like it stands on its own. That's why when I was watching Vidbeer 2022, which is the national competition for Eurovision of Ukraine, I was gutted when they didn't win originally, because Alina Pash was the original winner, but due to some, technicalities about her travel history. So in retrospect, Kalush Orchestra eventually became the representative of Ukraine for this year's Eurovision Song Contest, and they didn't fail to deliver. I mean, the staging was even better than the Vidbeer 2022 version, and also their performances, regardless of the rehearsals, the pre-parties in Israel, Spain, and etc., they were all consistent when it comes to their performances. There are artists who performed poorly at pre-party, which kind of like affected their standing towards the great show or the grand show of Eurovision. But Ukraine was one of those entries that are very consistent. The other entry that was also consistent for beginning from their national contest up to the end was Spain. So yeah, they always maintain the high caliber of their performances. So it's still worth saying that Ukraine deserve their trophy for winning the Eurovision Song Contest. I was half expecting it, but at the back of my brain, I was like, oh, I want Spain or UK to win, because that was like a redefining moment of Spain and UK, because for the past few years, they performed poorly. I always think they were like they don't give their best just because they automatically qualify to the grand finals. But this year they proved us wrong. They finally understood their homework, so that's why they brought us. They brought these kind of like entries that are out of this world. Like Spaceman and Slow-Mo were one of my favorites as well. And another surprise was Moldova. I mean, like, it's not really my cup of tea, but it's fun. Like, someone can play that song at 3 a.m., but the neighbors won't mind because it's still good. It's fun to listen. But I was kind of like expecting that it would also be a one of the favorites for the televote. So that's why when I finally learned that they received like 250 points plus at the televotes, I was like, oh, this is like a game changer. Same goes to Serbia, although I was kind of like disappointed about the jury votes of Serbia because they always rank low. They didn't get like the usual 12 points. I don't know why, but yeah. But when it comes to like the televotes, it's most of the people in Europe like it. I mean, like, who doesn't like Bit Strava? I mean, I have to be honest, not gonna lie, Incorpore Sano wasn't my early favorites when I was following PESMA 2022. Zoria and Muscatino were like my top two favorites, but during the grand finals, one of my subscribers in Serbia told me, hey, you should listen to Incorpore Sano because this is catchy AF. I was like, oh, okay. I gave it a chance. I was like, oh, this is really catchy, like Bit Strava, bit. So yeah, that was really fun, and they also deserve the top 5 finish at the Eurovision Song Contest because it's one of those entries that are, you know, it's art at its purest form. So yeah, I think those are like my initial thoughts and reactions to the grand finals of Eurovision Song Contest 2022. I'm really sad that this journey has finally come to an end. Yeah, I was kind of like busy for the past 2 weeks. That's one of the reasons why I didn't upload a lot of videos. And I should have uploaded my live reaction video during the semifinals 1 and 2, but I was feeling, I wasn't really feeling well during those moments because I just got my second booster shot, and I was feeling unwell for the past few weeks. And yeah, I'm back to my normal self. My creativity juices are starting to flow out again, and I have like pending videos to edit as well, which is non-Eurovision related. So yeah, I am thankful that, you know, it's been a journey. Like, I've met a lot of good people online, and most of them we still keep on, you know, we still keep in touch on Instagram and Twitter. You know who you are, guys. So massive thank you to all of you guys. I mean, like, you're like one of, like, I mean, like, fans of Eurovision across the world are one of the craziest fans. Like, I tell you, like, they're so passionate. Like, there were instances like there were like instances like I'm this close to pick a fight online, but I chose to be good. You know, like, I'm already like 31, and it's kind of like immature to, you know, to pick a fight online just because of these petty stuff. But yeah, sometimes people can be petty, sometimes people choose the good side. So yeah, I'm one of those people, the latter one. So yeah, it's been a journey, and I'll try to follow Junior Eurovision because I haven't watched that religiously, but I'll give that a chance if I have time this year. I'm going to be very busy for the next few months, and yeah, I'll see you in my next videos. But I guess it's no longer to be related to Eurovision. But yeah, I do hope that you would still, you know, like and comment some of my future videos, because I still create content about aviation, about travel as well. So yeah, I hope you guys would continue to support my channel. And yeah, once again, this is Yabo Renzi saying adios amigos, and be kind to others. Take care, and bye-bye. This is the final video about Eurovision for this year. Cheers.